Welcome to the Ralphy and Danny without Ralphy. He's had a bad one. Yes.
Sorry, Dan. That was crap. I was really, really bad at Flemington. It was. I've got a lift.
Well, it's headquarters. It's headquarters. It's where you're expected to fire. It's like not being able to kick, not being able to play at the MCG.
Unfortunately, it was headquarters, but it wasn't head wobble quarters. So, here's my day. You had your best bet, avoid lightning. Greg Miles called it first. Gets one wrong every 50 years. There we go.
Feel sorry for Greg there.
Yeah, exactly. And it looked like it's home, but we'll get to the races. Bells of Troy broke down. She won. Couldn't handle the firm ground, according to Glenn Boss. I really liked Albrecht. Like Philippi as well. Albrecht gets smashed onto Philippi. And finished the day, I best bet it all Burns at 10-1. Last start.
Well, it could have been me. I tuned in to watch TVN on Saturday morning and got this preview about All Too Hard winning the Guineas.
Yeah, it was a good thing. It
was a wonderful preview.
Wonderful. One of the better.
Apparently he was scratched 2 hours earlier.
And to be fair, Sky Channel was just as bone lazy by not actually getting off their horse and going into the studio and actually just putting a super at very least saying All Too Hard not running. This was recorded
the fact
on Friday.
we're tipping him, he's not running.
Yeah. So that was pathetic by both stations. Sorry. You got it wrong, but I got it wrong during the day, unfortunately. As we have a look at the part 1 of the weekly waffle, where we look back on what we got right and wrong at Flemington. The right bit will be short, the wrong bit will be long. Excitable Boy won the first race. There was a massive flag jockey change here, Dan, for Noel Callow on for Caitlin Mallion. The aggressive Noel Callow, and he had no room previous start, and he had lots of room on Saturday.
Great line from Noel after the race, where he said, he talked about his success in Malaysia. He said in Malaysia, I'm Brad Pitt. In Melbourne, I'm Armpit.
Here we are. He's up all night.
He was in good form. So there was been a rap on this horse for a while. It's the first time he had galloping room.
Yeah. And
he won well. I thought the second horse was really honest. There's some good form lines around her.
Yes.
Sano Suk, it was a good debut, number 3. And you forget about Indulgence because she blundered the start, cut herself, and obviously...
you can respect the market money on it. Respect the fact that it must have ability for that.
Well, the money was the day before, so there was a spruik, but on track she was 235 out to 340. I heard someone on TVN say, well, obviously wasn't fancied.
Yeah. Was that in the pre-record show or the live show?
The live. It was a live show. Obviously wasn't fancied, but you can't ignore the fact that it's 5s to $2.30 or 4s to $4.60 to $2.30. There was money for it.
Exactly. Race 2, Danny O'Brien's stable. Well, they had 9 favourites beaten in a row leading into this. And the first 2 races, they had 2 winners. So there you go. It just shows you that...
Black Shorts.
Black Shorts, home track, exactly right for Danny O'Brien.
Shorts, yeah.
Now, I'm putting Jake Duffy straight in the go-to slow club bin here, because on Zlatan, he got the pat in the back of Caulfield for getting rolling at the 800 metre mark. What he did, he let Craig Williams say, is this where you want me, Craig? You know, I don't want to get too far in front. And he was intimidated by Craig being just 3/4 of length back on Keep Cool.
Yeah, well, I sort of didn't quite read it as well as you have there, but certainly he could have let it roll a little bit more.
And she won, as we said, jarred up on the
hard
home ground.
I don't think it made any difference to the result.
Now, interesting stuff for Love You Madly, Avoid Lightning, that race, and Avoid Lightning hung in the last part of the race. If you haven't seen it cost itself the race, but there was a short half head between them. Posted as a track record 1:2.1. It's actually 1:01.8. Vince Accardi sent his proper times through. These are absolutely no questions they're wrong. So they've smashed the track record. There's no question you can believe this race is a super form race. Glows was first up off a good trial. Spartini, third up now, ready to win. And there's a bit of money for Formidable, saying it was going to get back to its 2-year-old days and ran well. Yeah. So this is a strong race.
And look, I didn't mind Booklet's run. She got home okay there. She was just run off her legs in a race where they just went too fast for her. I think she'll be better for the run. I think Avoid Lightning is a pretty good horse. I think just that last bit, did a left-hand turn. Yeah. Probably costed the race. And VRC, when are we going to put the camera angle and the race caller on the finishing line? It's only been 150 years.
If
they haven't had cameras for that long.
No, I'm not putting them. But if they had the cameras in order,
but they do it. Channel 7 can do it.
No, I'm just saying these three things. The cameras on the finishing post, the quaddy sub pissed off, and the 2-year-old's Barry child. I'd have nothing to talk about.
But it would be just me here.
Exactly right. Tavernell got the chocolates through a very good, positive Glen Boss ride early, overcoming Sheila's Star. Coonamoo, I was disappointed in Steve Arnold's ride here because just because you want to ride with cover doesn't mean you have to go all the way back. It should have been second line. From second line it wins. The data showed it was terrific between the 600 and about the 100 metre mark, and then it was just gassed out trying to get to the leaders. Coonamoo next start, ridden exactly the same way, will win. There you go. But I don't know if there's a huge depth of the race, only a length and a half between the first 6.
Yeah,
we've seen these.
Good, Coonamoo, Steve should adopt my theory. Sit wide at the 1400. Don't worry about whether you ever got any cover.
Get rolling. Yeah.
Get rolling.
Kaczynski speaking, get rolling. What a ride this was of Craig Williams, because there was a back marker, but he didn't wait until till they straightened to get into the race, because it would have been too late by then, because these tough horses, Tuscan Fire and Dame Claire, were rolling along in front, and said he got rolling from the 1200. Give its horse a chance to make that ground.
It's a classic staying ride at Flemington. Get going early. Don't worry about how wide you are. Give him galloping room. Let the momentum build, and that's exactly what he did. And I think the horse appreciated being away from other horses.
Yeah.
Which he didn't. Dame Claire, who wanted to go out into the. Yeah. She's a left turner. If she can't get on the fence, I don't want to be riding her.
Dame Claire is for tractability. Stand by for this one, Dad. What Glen Roy is to the Melbourne Tourist Bureau.
I was raised in the shadows of Glen Roy.
Were you rushing back there on the weekend?
No.
There you go. Super strong race in race 6. Launay, British General, Callanish. Got this one. I actually did well potting the favourites on the day, actually.
Oh, you got this race right?
Well, I got all the favourites that I potted right in that. Callanish, Tuscan Fire, all those. But Launay was always going to sweet seat. British General's just too fast for Callanish. But I'm not dropping off Callanish. I thought it's a miler. The horse is a miler.
The first 3 out of the line were good. Aerosep was good. He needs a bit longer. And Folding Gear was just out sprinted. Wait till he gets to 2400 metres.
Good lead here with Folding Gear. 60 kilos. First up, no, it doesn't normally do a lot. But it was 26s into 16s and only got beaten 4.5 lengths in a very fast race. Folding Gear is in for a good autumn. It's got a big race in it. The Australian Guineas. Boo! Just a crap race. I'm sorry. The 4 best horses, minimum, maybe for best 5, but best 4 3-year-olds in Australia ran in the Group 2 in Sydney, in the Hobartville Stakes.
Yeah, it was a big grader.
It was a big grader.
Look, I'm great for Jonathan Munns. He's put a fortune in and had a handful of Group 1s he's probably had more horses than the Light Brigade have put through the Mincer. But this is a nice horse. This is a nice horse, but he's a B-grade horse at the moment. I'd love to see him step up. But I think the filly might be heading towards an A-grade filly.
Yes.
Filly. I think if he takes her to Adelaide, she'll win that race in Adelaide, the 2,000 metre race in Adelaide, the Australasian Oaks.
4th, 5th and 6th. Vastan, super, going for real distance races. Philippi, super, it'll be winning the Alistair Clark Stakes next start. And Bass Strait, would love it drawn wide, but it's going through its...
it's fine, and I've got to... He buried high shot away on the rails from barrier 1. He probably had no option, but I think one more run. I'll sit on him for one more run.
He still has to do it on the track. His boom's still bigger than what he's done on the track. Yeah, doesn't mean he's not good, but at the moment he's got to match it.
A bit of the high chaparrals for me. Is that my phone?
Yeah, turn it off. It's all right.
It's
on the YouTube. It's not showing on.
The man at the sales ringing me.
I was going to say it's not showing.
Money.
It's not TV or Sky Channel either, because we're here. Isabella Snowflake, she's a ripper. What a ripper. Yeah, really good time, really good through the gears.
Look, and takes a really good filly to beat these sort of horses what about a 4th run, 5th run?
5th run. Well, she's had 5 runs, 4 1,001 them all. And the little hint, Mick Price on Shane Anderson showing RSN on Friday said, I was pretty disappointed when she got beaten. I thought, Shemma Win ran 183. Yeah. So if he's disappointed with a 3rd at 183, he obviously thinks there's a ripper.
8 bills. What was Troy Portelli's
Well,
what did he think of the run? Did he,
no, but at least
did
that
he
was
throw
the way.
the jockey in the grandstands or anything?
But
no.
that was the way to ride the horse.
Yeah, it's the way to ride a horse.
If you get no
and
luck,
the luck doesn't come. You just
and ride it logically, unlike Dean Hollandman's previous start,
Yeah.
and Ready to Rip is ready to win. And in the last race, as I said, all burns. Now practice went forward because there was no speed on paper, and it actually proved that way.
yeah.
It could win. It could win a few this time. In.
Well, there was good money for it, which
Yeah.
I like to see
Yeah.
from that camp. And went under the hat. What do you think of under the hat?
It was very under the hat.
Okay.
Yeah, it just runs on. It didn't have pace in the race. Neither did Gale. That was my warning, and I actually said this when we waffled a couple of weeks ago.
Another thing you got right.
That was one thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Nick and Noise, Gale, and Under the Hat all were in a very fast run race that busted open all burns. So sometimes you got to adjust according to the tempo,
Yep.
and sometimes you got to admit when you were crap. I was crap. Part 2, we're going to talk about issues.
He was crap.